Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, the Daily Forex. In today's video, I'm going to share with you guys a very powerful strategy that you can use to buy the market and also sell the market for a good, entry and make profit on the market. All right. This same strategy is this same, strategy that I used to catch this spike right here, as we are seeing at this very point. You can see that at this moment I sold the market, and at this point here, I took profit. Okay, I sold here to catch the spike at this very moment, then I exited right here. Okay, and currently we are seeing that this market is buying on crash 500 index. All right, now you can see that this line right here, this black line and this blue line is the alligator, while here this one at this point is the MACD. All right, then we have the RSI, it level of 85, level of 15 at this very point. Okay, now this strategy is not really that difficult to understand. Okay, all you need is to pay very close attention to everything that I'm about to say. All right, so now how do you catch spike using this strategy? Okay, how do you catch spike? Now what we're going to do right here is that you are going to observe until the alligator lines, which is this blue and black line, cross above a level of 85. Immediately you go into the market for a sell, because you know that the market is at the overbought. Okay, and another thing is that you want to zoom out of the market. When you zoom out at the very point, you get that perfect view. Okay, we're seeing that this market is at the high at this very point, as the overbought at this moment, and if you trace it down, the lines it's above this point. And if you also look at the previous trend, you can see that the market have been selling, buying, selling, giving this downward trend, giving you a signal that a spike is coming, not just a small spike, a heavy one. Even at this moment right here, the market will still sell, because what we're seeing is that this alligator line is going above this point here. All right, and when it crosses above this point, it will sell, and it might even sell before crossing that very point, because the market is towards this point, which is the overbought. Okay, now after you have confirmed this confirmation, you also want to go to the higher time frame to always confirm your entries. Okay, now you go over to the higher time frame. Let's use the 1 hour time frame at this very point, then let's zoom into the market from here. Now currently you can see that on the higher time frame, the markets have bought for a very long period of time, because this is the higher time frame, the 1 hour time frame. The market have bought. Take a look at it. From this point right here, the market bought up to this point here. Now the market need to sell again, because if you take a look at this point, when the market bought up to this point, it retested again for a sell. It bought here, it sold. It bought here, it will sell. Okay, this market is going to sell just to create this same pattern that it created at this very point. Take a look. It bought, it sold, it bought, it's going to sell. All right, but you know that this crash and boom market, this crash market, we're only trading into catch a spike, meaning that we're only looking for small opportunities. All right, small opportunities to take advantage of. So we'll go over to the 1 minute time frame at this very moment. Then you want to wait for that perfect confirmation when you cross this very point, which is the level of 85. All right, then you go in for a sell and wait for that spike at that very point. So you can see at this moment I caught this very long spike, you can see. All right, and this is a very good amount of profit. Take a look at it. It sold here, exited at this very point, very massive profit. Okay, now how do you buy the market? You know that when you are cashing spike, is a lot easier to cash spike than when you are buying the market. Right, it's a lot easier, because why I say it's a lot easier is because when you're trying to catch a spike, you already know that okay, when price gets to this set point, it will drop, isn't it? Yes, when price gets to a very high position, it's going to drop. Just like when you throw a stone upwards to a certain high level, the speed is going to that the stone will use to drop will be extremely high. That is what happened here. If I zoom out, you can see that this place right here is very high. Okay, so the market dropped to this very point, giving me a significant amount of profit at that very moment. Okay, now we're seeing the same thing about to happen here again. Now It's a lot easier to catch this spike because you can always wait for that level where you're expecting the market to drop. But when you are trying to buy the market, it's a lot riskier because when you're trying to buy the market, the stop loss is not really gonna work, right? So you want to go into the market for just a very short period of time, taking advantage of small price movements like 5 to 10 candlesticks. All right, 5 to 10 candlesticks. So how do you do that without the spike coming in your way? That's when this comes in. All right, we're going to zoom out a little bit at this very point. This alligator, the blue and the black and the MACD, when three of them cross below the level of 15, you go into the market, you just take just 5 candlesticks and you are out of that market. This is if you are trying to buy the market. Let's say you're trying to grow your small account, right? And you don't want to be waiting. You know that sometimes when you're trying to catch a spike, it might take a little bit of time. Maybe the market can buy up to 30 candlesticks, and before you know it, your account is gone, right? That's if you have a very small account. But if you're trying to grow that small account, trying to enter into the market, because the crash market is always buying continuously, that the spike will drop, it will buy. So if you want to be on that buying train, you'd want to go into the position that the chances of the spike coming is really low. All right, that is where you go in at this very point. Then you go in for 5 candlesticks and you are out of the market. Very perfect strategy for you to catch spike. Take a look at this point. The MACD below this line, below the level of 15 of the RSI, the alligator below this point. Then you wait again. Remember that both of the alligator need to cross below. They need to cross below this very point. So immediately they are below this point, you start counting from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You count 5 candles and you're out. So you can see that after we count 5 candlesticks, there was a spike here. Even at the oversold, there was a spike. All right, now immediately let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, now here both of the lines are below the level of 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are out of the market. It went above, then it went below. You count again. Perfect strategy for you to. This is if you are trying to buy the market. Okay, you are trying to buy the market. Take a look at this very point. At this point here, three of the lines are below the level of 15 here. Then you immediately start counting for a buy. 5 candlesticks and you're out of the market. This is if you are trying to grow your small account into a big account. Then if you are trying to catch spike, you want to go in for that perfect opportunity whereby the market will sell for a very long sell and you end up with massive profit. Then you want to target that overbought position. Here. Both of the lines are above this very point. Let's zoom in a little bit. All right. When you see, sometimes you don't even need to wait until the lines are above. But if you're trying to catch the spike, you don't need to wait until both lines are above. All you need to is to target that entry when you see that it's a bit close. But on the downside, you need to wait until both of the lines cross the level of 3 of the lines cross the level of 15. But if you are going for the spike, you want to observe when it's a bit close. You can see that the MACD already crossed above this very point. So at that moment when you saw that the MACD is already above the level of 85 and the alligator lines are almost at that very point, you go in immediately for a sell. Here, take a sell entry. Boom. Profit. All you need to do is wait for a perfect opportunity and make sure that you risk wisely. Okay, you want to make sure that you risk wisely because there's no strategy that is 100% accurate. There might be a chance whereby you're expecting the market to buy or to sell, but it might take a little bit of time. We have all experienced that. Okay, so I hope this strategy works very well for you. All right, now I'm going to share with you guys the parameters. Currently we're using the relative strength index, the alligator and the MACD. All indicators are on indicator window 1, Period 8, you apply to medium price. The level you put on 15, 85, 95, and 5. For the style, you put that on 3 pixels with color black with the first trend line. You click on done, it will take you back to the main window, whereby you put on the style on 1 pixels with the first trend line. You click on done. Then for the alligator, you put on jaws period, just as you can see right here, 13, teeth period 6, lips period 5, just like as you can see right here. Okay, then for the jaws, you want to make sure that you put the color on white if you are using a white background, but if you are using a black background, you want to put the color on black, right? Then for the teeth, we have color black. Lips, we have blue color on 3 pixels, all on 3 pixels, as you can see with this first trend line. All right, then for MACD, this MACD is one of my favorite indicators that I use mainly almost on all of my trades. Fast EMA 16, slow EMA 32, MACD SMA 16, you apply to typical price. The main, you put that on 3 pixels with color black. The signal, you put that on color white with this first red line. You click and done. Okay, very perfect, easy strategy for you to catch spike and buy the market. Remember, catching spike and buying the market are two different things. When you're buying the market, you are looking for that, perfect opportunity to scalp 5 candlesticks. They are selling the markets, trying to catch the spike. So this strategy is how to catch spike and buy the markets on crash. Okay, on the crash indices. Okay, crash and boom. So guys, also I hope you understand everything that I've said to you guys in this video, and also join my Telegram community, the Daily Forex on Telegram. On my Telegram community, I show you guys tips. I give you guys free signals daily on how to trade. Powerful signals with high accuracy. Okay, on boom and crash indices. Sometimes I also post volatility index strategies and also currencies, right? The Daily Forex. So if you found value in this video, do what to like and subscribe to the channel, the Daily Forex, for more awesome trading tips and strategies. I'll see you guys on the next video.